I found Dad's new will in my ex's glove box, dated 2 days before he died. The paper shook in my hands in a Target parking lot off Route 41. The date said May 31st. Dad died June 02 at 6:21 a.m. I read that line 3 times. Mara, I said out loud, as if she could hear me. What did you do? I hadn't sat in her car since March 12th, the day we split after 3 years and 8 months. I'd only come for a phone charger she swore she'd returned. Instead, I found an envelope marked Addendum, T.P. Dad's initials, a notary stamp, a line moving the house at 118 Willow to my brother, Evan, in recognition of care. Care. I was the one changing 4 bags at 4:30 a.m. Evan did 2 grocery runs and 1 lawn mow. But the signatures, Dad's, a notary's, 2 witnesses, sat there in blue ink like a wall. My phone buzzed. Evan, memorial prep at the house. Need to finalize the slideshow. Bring the thumb drive. On my way, I texted. The brass, 118, on the porch was still crooked like always. Dad promised to fix it for 10 years. Photo boxes everywhere in the den. The old Century safe sat open. The velvet square where Grandma's 1937 ring lived was empty. Mara, I called, though I already knew. She walked in with Evan, their steps too synchronized for 2 people who barely talk. Black silk dress, that easy smile she used when she wanted me pliable. Jack, she said, like a truce. Let's keep tonight about your dad. Evan clapped my shoulder. Reception after the service, slideshow runs twice. You got the USB? In the car, I lied. He lifted the safe lid, casual. Also, Dad wanted me to handle real estate. Less stress for you. He said it to the air. Or to Mara. I saw the addendum, I said. Silence. Mara blinked. What addendum? The one dated May 31st, I said. From your glove box. Evan's jaw bunched. You were in her car? For my charger. Mara's voice went soft, performative. Jack, I don't know what you think you saw. I pulled the envelope from my jacket. The notary seal flashed under the lamp. This. Evan took a step, palm out. Give it. No. He laughed once, flat. You can't even read legal language. Dad's attorney, Patel, handled everything. You'll get what's fair. What's fair? I said. A house with $428,000 in equity, and the ring gone. Mara folded her arms. You're spiraling. Again. Don't, I said. Don't use that word like a fire extinguisher. Evan glanced at the kitchen clock. We're not doing this tonight. We are, I said. Who were the witnesses? Neighbors, he said. Mrs. Keene and Mrs. Keene moved to Fort Myers in February, I said. You sent the group text. He didn't blink. There are other neighbors. I looked at Mara's left hand. Bare. But her thumb kept rubbing the base of her ring finger like muscle memory. Where's Grandma's ring? I asked. I don't wear heirlooms to planning, she said. I set the envelope on the table and slid my phone out. We'll ask Patel for the original, the notary journal, and the witnesses' IDs. Evan's smile tightened. You think you're the only son? Dad chose me because I showed up when it mattered. Name 2 nights, I said. 2. Stop, Mara said. Jack, you're grieving. Don't blow up your family over paperwork. I looked at the photo board, Dad at my Little League game, his arm around both of us. Then I hit record on my phone and set it face down on the table. Evan noticed. What are you doing? Protecting myself, I said. He stepped closer. Hand me the addendum. I picked it up. No. Footsteps in the hall. A man in a navy suit, mid-40s, neat beard, leather portfolio. Evening, he said. Rahul Patel. We should talk about the will. My stomach dropped. The portfolio tab had my name. And the top sheet wasn't an addendum. It was a cease and desist with my address. Dad's memorial ran like a timeline I didn't write. By mid-morning, the church hall was full. My aunt ran out of programs. Mara hugged me once. 3 seconds. No eye contact. Evan worked the room like a senator. At noon, he tapped a glass. One more thing, he said. Dad wanted the family to continue. We're engaged. He lifted Mara's hand. Grandma's 1937 ring winked under fluorescent lights. Thin applause. A fork clinked 4 times and quit. At the back, Patel watched. I walked to him. Why the cease and desist? Because of last night, he said. Because you threatened to interfere with estate administration. I asked for the notary journal. You demanded files not yet admitted to probate, he said. If you want a contest, File a caveat. Stop harassing my client. Your client. I said. Dad is dead. Executor, he said, glancing at Evan. I'm an heir. You'll receive notice, he said. If you're alleging lack of capacity or undue influence, do it the right way. Capacity, I said. On May 31st, Dad was sedated. Then gather medical records, he said. File your petition. Not here, between canapes. Can I see the notary's name? Not here, he said. Evan slid in, arm around Mara. Everything okay, counselor? He knows his options, Patel said. Great, Evan said. Family sit down at 6. House. Bring your keys. And maybe some cold cuts? Mara added. People are hungry. That ring belonged to Grandma, I said. She'd want it worn, Mara smiled. Outside, the heat slapped me. My phone buzzed and Are you okay? Another buzz, unknown number. A photo of me at Dad's safe on May 30th, timestamp 2147. Caption, nice try. I called. No answer. I texted, who is this? 3 dots. Then, a witness. On the steps, I opened notes. Bullet points. May 31st, alleged addendum. May 30th, 2147. Me at safe, swapped a dead USB. Nurse, fever 101. For by early afternoon, disoriented near noon. Keen moved February 17th, can't witness. Ring missing, now on Mara's hand. Evan's prep text. I called Dad's nurse, Tamsin. She picked up on the second ring. Hey, Jack. Quick. May 31st. Did Dad sign anything? No, she said. He slept most of the day. Fever hit 101. For around 3. He barely recognized me at noon. Can you chart that? I can state what I observed, she said. Not legal capacity. It's enough, I said. I phoned the probate clerk. I need to file a caveat. We can timestamp it today, she said. Bring ID and $45. On my way. I emailed Patel. I am filing a caveat at 3 p.m. Please preserve all original documents, notary journal, and witness information. Spoliation notice. No reply. By mid-afternoon, I'd scanned Tamsin's email, vitals, meds, her initials on every line. The clerk stamped my caveat. Receipt in my pocket. Outside, my phone buzzed again. A video. Evan's voice muffled. Mara's laugh. Dad's hand on May 31st, a pen between his fingers, someone guiding it. Time overlay, 10:12 a.m. Then a whisper I knew down to the vowel. Hold still, Mr. Whitlow, the notary said. My mother's best friend. The one who owed Dad $12,000. After the video, I headed for 118 for the 6 o'clock sit-down and detoured first to Lydia's strip mall office, Suite 205. The nail dryer hummed. She looked up, startled, then set down a file. Jack, I'm closing. I saw the video, I said. 10:12 a.m. May 31st. Her mouth tightened. You shouldn't have that. You said, hold still, Mr. Whitlow. That's your voice. I notarize hundreds, she said. I don't remember every stamp. You owe my dad $12,000, I said. I owe you dated February 21st. Her hands froze. That's between us. It's leverage, I said. Undue influence. Leave, she whispered. I filed a caveat at 3:12. Receipt number 11806. She flinched. I didn't break any laws. You stamped a dying man while someone guided his hand. That's not what happened, she said. He wanted Evan to have the house. Then name your witnesses, I said. On the record. She stared at the dryer's countdown. Lydia, I said. Help me, or help yourself. I have to pick up my kid, she said, snatching her purse. Meet me later. Crenshaw Diner. Booth 4. 8:30. She killed the lights and slipped out. At the house, Evan, Mara, and Patel were already at the dining table. 2 locksmiths unpacked tools by the door. Evan smiled like a TV host. Family meeting. Mara rested a hand over the ring. Keep it civil. Patel opened a folder. Ground rules. I set my phone on the table. Recording. He slid a paper toward me. Emergency temporary letters of administration entered at 4:55 p.m. Division J. Temporary administrator, Evan Whitlow. My throat went dry. Ex part. Preservation of estate assets, he said. Standard when there's risk. Evan gestured to the locksmiths. Locks tonight. Inventory at 9. I filed a caveat, I said. Stamped 3:12. That pauses probate, Patel said. Not emergency authority. Mara crossed her arms. You scared the nieces with cops last night. I asked for a notary journal, I said. That's not cops. Patel slid another sheet. Offer, $50,000 within 10 days. You withdraw the caveat, sign a mutual release, and disclaim any interest in 118. I laughed once. Buy me out with my own inheritance. It avoids 18 months of litigation, he said. 55, he added. Final. NDA. No disparagement. I unlocked my phone and hit play. On screen, Dad's hand. The pen, Mara's breath catching. Lydia's whisper, hold still, Mr. Whitlow. Timestamp, 10:12 a.m.m. Evan's jaw set. Where'd you steal that? Not your concern, I said. Chain of custody matters, Patel said. Metadata can be faked. Explain the guiding, I said. Explain the ring resized on June 1st. Mara's smile thinned. You're spiraling. Again. Stop with that word, I said. Evan nodded to the locksmith. The drill whined. Metal filings glittered. The front door opened, and 2 uniformed officers stepped in, badges and body cams. Evening, one said. Civil standby. Patel raised the order. Emergency authority at 4:55 p.m. The officer looked at me. Sir, if you're not the administrator, we need you outside. This is my father's house, I said. It's the estate's house, Patel said. The deadbolt popped. The officer checked the time and lifted a hand. Gentle, ready to be firm. Outside, please. I stared at the ring on Mara's finger, that tiny 1937 sun. I backed across the threshold. The officer followed, then handed me a copy of the 4:55 p.m. order. Cross that line again tonight, he said, and you'll be arrested. Jack, Evan called. Leave your key. I set it in my palm and let it go. I drove home and slid the slideshow USB into my laptop. 100 JPGs bloomed. Little League, graduation, Dad at the grill with a crooked spatula. In properties, 3 hidden items flickered to life. A folder named Archive and a zip called Guests_05-31. Zip. I opened it. A spreadsheet. Rehearsal. June 1st, 7 p.m. Celebrate after signing. 12 names. Evan. Mara. Lydia. Witness. Keen in parentheses. Keen moved in February. Not a witness. Aunt D called. Baby, are you okay? I saw the police. They changed the locks, I said. Emergency order at 4:55. Thomas would hate this. He also hated lies. Can you sign an affidavit? About what? Evan talking about the house on May 29th. He told you it was basically mine already. Put the time. I will, she said. Tonight. I opened another file, a denim_scan. PDF. Created May 29th, just before midnight. Notary seal. Lydia's commission number. A margin note. Saturday. Confirm witnesses. Another image. Ring_size_ticket_6_1. JPG. White tag. Resize 6.5. 5. Price $78. Timestamp early afternoon. Jeweler initials MD. You resized it before he died. I whispered. My phone lit. Unknown. The witness. Meet. 9:30. Crenshaw Diner. Booth 4. Coming. I typed. The diner was red vinyl and sweating pie. Lydia waited at booth 4, eyes rimmed pink. A receipt lay face down. You came, I said. I have an hour, she said. My kid's with a neighbor. I saw your stamp, I said. I saw the guiding. He asked me to help, she murmured. He was tired. Who asked? I said. Say it. She swallowed. Evan. Did Mara sign as a witness? No. She filled the fields. I stamped. How much? I asked. Not cash, she said. They promised to wipe the $12,000 and $1,500 on Saturday. Your journal? She pulled up a photo. Her May 31st page. Blank lines, a sticky note. Come back Monday. She winced. I backfilled later. I know. Will you sign a statement? Tomorrow, 8:15. Clerk's office. If I do, I lose my commission. You'll keep your freedom, I said. Perjury's worse. She nodded once. 1 page. Truth. I emailed myself everything. The PDF, the spreadsheet, the ring ticket, and sent a preservation email, BCC to Patel, so he couldn't pretend he'd never seen it. Lydia slid a folded paper across. I owe you, she said. February 21st. His handwriting. $12,000. I pocketed it. Thank you. Be careful, she said. They're watching. Who? Evan's friend. Black Tahoe. No plates. Outside, the night felt wired. Another text pinged. Under the front porch. 3 boards in. A pin on 118. I can't, I typed. Officer said trespass. You want the original? Crawl space. Left side. Hurry. I parked 2 houses down and crouched under the porch with my phone's light. 3 boards in, a plastic-wrapped bundle, a Patel office receipt, May 29th billing Evan $840, a guest list printout, the original ring box marked 655 in blue pen, and a second addendum, no notary stamp, different signature, dated 05/28. Headlights washed the lattice. Blue-red pulsed. Boots on gravel. Hands where I can see them. Jack Whitlow, the officer called. Step out. Now. Officer, I said, dust in my teeth. I have evidence. He drew closer. You're under arrest for trespass and attempted burglary. I slid the bundle forward like a life raft. Then book the truth with me. He reached for the plastic, and the porch light, my father's porch light, finally came on. The gravel cut my knees as the cuffs bit my wrists. Hands, the officer said. I'm not stealing, I said. I have evidence. He lifted the plastic bundle with 2 fingers. Under a porch, close to midnight? From the sidewalk, Patel didn't miss his cue. Emergency letters entered at 4:55 p.m. He was warned. Jack Whitlow. The second officer read from my ID. You're under arrest for trespass. Possible burglary tools. They walked me to the cruiser. The back seat smelled like bleach and sweat. My phone buzzed once before they bagged it. Booking blurred. Photos. Ink. A property envelope with my watch and $28. 1 call. I dialed Aunt D. I need a bondsman. How much? Don't know yet. A guard read terms. Misdemeanor trespass. Bond $750. Court date July 8th at 9 a.m. I called a friend from college, Ravi, who kept a criminal attorney on speed dial. Nisha Gomez, he said. Texting now. Ms. Gomez arrived after midnight. Dark blazer, hair in a knot, eyes wired like caffeine. You'll be out on a signature and $750, she said. We'll plead not guilty. Keep your mouth shut online. Agreed? Agreed. And stop going to that house after sunset, she added. Judges hate night drama. Yes. A buzzer. A gate. Air that tasted like pennies. Ms. Gomez handed me a card. Retainer $2,500 by Friday. I'll handle the criminal. For probate, get a litigator. I filed a caveat at 3:12 p.m. I said, receipt number 11806. Good, she said. Next, injunction and a neutral. Paper, not porch. Home by dawn. A shower to grind the grit out of my hair. No sleep. At the clerk's office after 8, Lydia arrived with red eyes and a kid's backpack on one shoulder. You ready? I asked. She nodded. I'll tell the truth. At window 6, a neutral notary, a $10 stamp, sealed Lydia's affidavit. May 31st at 10:12 a.m. Evan guiding Dad's hand. Journal backfilled on Monday. $1,500 promised. $12,000 debt used as leverage. She signed. The notary stamped. At 9, I filed an emergency motion. TRO to preserve estate assets. Suspension of emergency letters. Appointment of a neutral. I attached Lydia's affidavit, Tamsin's chart, the ring ticket, resize 655, the afternoon of 06/01, and the video. The clerk wrote, hearing 11:30, Division J. I texted Patel, filed TRO. Preserve all originals. Notice attached. We'll be there, he replied. Courtroom J smelled like polish and coffee. At 11:30, the judge, Ortiz, took the bench. Mr. Whitlow, she said. Why ex parte? Evidence is being moved, I said. Locks changed last night. Safe emptied. Ring resized June 1st, before Dad died June 2nd at 6:21 a.m. Patel stood. Hearsay, speculation. My client has emergency authority. Opposing party was arrested under the porch. Arrest isn't conviction, Judge Ortiz said. Sit. Facts. I handed copies. Affidavit from the notary this morning. Nurse chart, fever 101. For the afternoon of May 31st. Video 10:12 a.m. Hand-guided. Ring ticket 06/01. Patel didn't flinch. We dispute authenticity, and we have our own exhibit. A clip played. My voice, sharp. I'll make you regret it. I'll burn it down. Timestamp on their screen. May 31st, 9:55 a.m. Murmurs. Aunt D shook her head. Mara stared like I'd finally matched her story. Judge Ortiz peered over her glasses. Mr. Whitlow, did you threaten Ms. Ryder at 9:55 a.m. on May 31st? I opened my mouth and felt the room tilt, because I knew that line, but not from May, from March 12th. Minutes earlier, the judge had asked if I threatened Mara at 9:55. I said those words, I told Ortiz. Not that day. Proof? She asked. Metadata. And a receipt. I mirrored my email to the court screen. March 12th audio. My own recording. 9:08 p.m. Same sentence. Same noise after. Mara's keys hitting the bowl. I played the clip. Keys clinked twice 2 seconds in. Patel leaned forward. Now May 31st. I said. I wasn't home at 9:55 a.m. CVS receipt 9:57 for Dad's Oxy. Camera shows me in line at 9:49. Judge Ortiz tapped her pen. Mr. Patel? We can't authenticate CVS footage without a custodian, he said. Subpoena is fine, I said. I'll file today. I pulled up another email. Jeweler, Maddox Diamonds. Ring resized 6:5. 5. Receipt hashtag MD 22418. Signed Mara R. June 1st, early afternoon. Still attached. Mara's face froze. I didn't. Ms. Ryder, Ortiz said. No outbursts. Patel's jaw flexed. Irrelevant to administration. It is relevant to credibility, Ortiz said, and to dissipation risk. She lifted Lydia's affidavit. Ms. Morales admits backfilling her journal? And a $1,500 promise? Yes, I said. Plus Dad's IOU in his hand. $12,000, dated February 21st. Patel regrouped. We intend to cross-examine Ms. Morales. This is one-sided. It's a TRO, Ortiz said. One-sided is how it starts. She signed fast. Temporary restraining order granted. No transfers, sales, gifts, or encumbrances of estate property. Evan Whitlow's emergency letters are suspended pending a hearing July 15th at 9:30 a.m. Neutral temporary administrator appointed. Ana Cortez at $175 per hour, no relation to the court. Parties to provide keys by 4 p.m. today. Supervised inventory June 25th at 3 p.m. Evan muttered, unbelievable. Mara whispered, you're ruining everything. I'm saving what's left, I said. A text buzzed from an unknown number. Nice trick in J. Watch your back. I ignored it. I texted Ms. Gomez. TRO granted. Criminal date July 8th. Retainer Friday. Thumbs up. Stay boring. By late afternoon, I stood at 118 with Deputy Collins and Ms. Cortez, the neutral. Evan arrived with Patel. Mara hovered, ring hand tucked. 2 hours, Ms. Cortez said. Phones on the table. Photos allowed. Nothing leaves. Room by room, we worked. In Dad's desk, a listing agreement pre-filled June 1st, 9 a.m. Agent Keating Realty, seller. Estate of Thomas P. Whitlow, signed Evan Whitlow, executor. I photographed it. Prepared before he died, I said. Patel said nothing. In a shoebox, a bank slip. May 31st ATM withdrawal, $1,500. The number that matched Lydia's Saturday promise. Photo. In the kitchen ledger, Dad's handwriting. Loan to L. M. $12,000 due March 31st. And under it, do not trust paper changes when I'm medicated. Dated May 27th, late evening. He wrote it, I said. Copy it, Ms. Cortez said. Leave the original. Another buzz from the witness. Next drop. Safe deposit key. Under workbench. Blue tape. Box 17, First Union. Deputy Collins glanced over. Problem. Bank errand, I said. Not with estate property, he said. Through Ms. Cortez, or not at all. I set the phone down. Ms. Cortez locked the front door at the end of the window. We reconvened June 25th at 3 p.m. No one enters without me. We scattered like magnets flipped. That evening a package landed on my doormat. No return address. heft like a brick. Inside, a sealed envelope. To Jack, in Dad's hand. Postmark 06/01, 5:18 p.m. I held it, smelling his cologne. I slid a knife under the flap. My phone lit again. Unknown. Open it, and the Tahoe follows you home. I set the knife down and called Ms. Cortez. Don't open it alone, she said. Bring it to my office. 7:30 p.m. I'll log it. I drove with the envelope on the passenger seat like a bomb. The Tahoe idled 2 houses up, lights off, engine low. I circled once. It followed, then parked. At her building, Suite 304, secondhand furniture, a wall clock 2 minutes fast. Deputy Collins leaned against a file cabinet, arms crossed. Record, Ms. Cortez said. Date June 24th, time 7:31 p.m. Item, letter postmarked January 6th, 5:18 p.m. Addressed to Jack. I slid the blade under the flap. Paper rasped. 2 things inside. A 2-page note in Dad's type block letters and a 16-gig USB. Read, Collins said. I read aloud. If this finds you after May 27th, assume any changes were made while I was on meds. I revoke consent for addenda after May 27th without a neutral fiduciary present. Ring to D. House to be sold within 6 months. Proceeds split 50-50. Executor, if Patel declines, neutral professional. Safe deposit box 17 at First Union contains original. Dated, Ms. Cortez asked. May 27th, 10:14 p.m. Signed Thomas P. Whitlow. Collins nodded to the USB. The drive? We'll clone it after, Ms. Cortez said. Chain is rolling. I held up a small key, blue tape on the bow. Under Dad's workbench. Box 17. Bank's closed, Collins said. We do it at 9. I'll call First Union's manager, Miss Gable. We meet vault side. Ms. Cortez logged the chain, my name, her initials, Collins's badge number. I left by the back stairs. The Tahoe eased off the curb but didn't follow. Next morning, we met Ms. Gable at First Union. Box 17, she said, blazer matching the carpet. Renter, Thomas P. Whitlow. Do you have a court-appointed special administrator? Ms. Cortez held up the TRO. Emergency letters suspended. I'm the neutral, $1.75 an hour, file stamped yesterday. We'll log this extraordinary access. 8:59 a.m., Ms. Gable said. 2 doors, keypad, twin keys. The steel drawer slid free. Conference room, Collins said. Phones on the table. Inside the box, a manila folder, a red thumb drive, a fountain pen loaded with blue-black ink, a white ring box, and a document stamped Original Will, 03/15. I photographed everything. On top of the folder, codicil, May 27th, 10:12 p.m. Revocation of subsequent addenda absent neutral administrator. Witness lines blank. Dad's signature clean. Below it, a taped note. Maddox Diamonds, resize 6.5. 5. Give to D. Pay Lydia $0. Tell Jack to breathe. I swallowed. He wrote to me. Page 3 of the will. Executor, if Patel declines, appoint a neutral professional. Specific bequest, ring to D. Residuary, sell the house within 180 days, split to sons 50/50ths. Chain, Collins said. We bag originals. Copies to both sides. The red drive is played once, recorded, then sealed. I cracked the ring box. Empty, just the sizing ticket again. MD, 22418, June 1st, 2:22 p.m. She has it, I said. Photo only, Ms. Cortez said. She set the red drive in her laptop. Recorder on. 10:02 a.m. Start. Ready? Collins asked. Ready, I said. The screen went black, then resolved. Dad in his den on May 27th. The clock behind him flashing 10:12 p.m. He looked small, clear-eyed. If you're watching this, he said, I'm gone, or someone tried to change things after May 27th. He breathed in. Jack, he said, I'm sorry I didn't say this sooner. The conference room handle turned. The handle turned, and Patel stepped in with Evan and Mara. Meeting in progress, Ms. Gable said, blocking the threshold. Authorized parties only. We're authorized, Patel said. Counsel for the executor. Executor is suspended, Ms. Cortez said, tapping the TRO. You'll get copies at 10:30. Evan saw the paused frame of Dad. Turn that off. No, I said. Mara's eyes flicked to my hands, to the red drive's light blinking once, twice. Chain of custody is compromised if, Patel began. It's preserved, Ms. Cortez said. Recording in progress. Sit or step out. Patel stepped out. Evan didn't. You're not doing this. Watch, I said, and Ms. Cortez hit play. Dad looked into the camera like he was measuring me. If I'm medicated, I'm not making legal decisions, he said. Anna, he smiled at the lens. If a neutral sees this, don't let them bully Jack. Mara is not to hold the ring. Dee gets it. Sell the house within 6 months. Split it 50-50ths. If Evan pushes for more, he's grieving in the wrong way. He lifted the fountain pen, the same one from the box. This is mine. If a signature isn't this ink, it isn't mine. Evan swore under his breath. Mara pinched her palm until it blanched. Dad tried to smile. Jack, stop fixing everything at 2 in the morning. Breathe. Go to a game. Eat the peanuts. Call your aunt. The screen went black at 3 minutes. MS. Cortez, save the capture. 10:09. Drive sealed. Evan's voice went flat. You think this wins? Patel exhaled. It's persuasive. Mara leaned on the table like she could push it over. He was confused. On May 27th? I asked. The night he wrote, do not trust paper changes when I'm medicated? Patel raised his hands. We'll litigate at the 07:15 hearing. We did. At 9:30 a.m. On July 15th, Judge Ortiz took the bench. Colin sat behind me. Lydia waited in the hall. The jeweler from Maddox held a folder. Ms. Gable held her vault log. Patel opened with polish. Grief warps memory. My client acted under the decedent's wishes. Ms. Cortez answered with exhibits. Video May 27th, 10:12 p.m. Letter May 27th, 10:14 p.m. Will March 15th. Codicil revoking later addenda without a neutral. Ring receipt January 6th, 2:22 p.m. Nurse chart, 101. For fever afternoon, May 31st. Notary affidavit. Backfilled journal, $1,500 promised, $12,000 debt leveraged. Lydia's voice shook. He guided Mr. Whitlow's hand at 10:12 a.m. I stamped it. I was wrong. The jeweler testified. Resize 6-5, 5 on June 1st. Signed Mara R. Ticket MD 22418. Ms. Gable testified. Extraordinary access June 25th. Originals in box 17. Patel tried to play the 9:55 a.m. clip. I laid down the CVS receipt $9.57, $38. 14, and the store manager, subpoenaed, said he was in line at 9:49. Keys clinked in my March 12th recording at the same beat. The judge heard both. At 10:46, Judge Ortiz ruled, the May 31st addendum is invalid due to incapacity and undue influence. Evan Whitlow is removed as executor for cause. The neutral remains. The ring is to be returned to the estate within 24 hours. Referral to the state attorney regarding the notarial act. Inventory under supervision July 22nd, 3 p.m. House to be listed within 30 days, sold within 180 days. Proceeds split 50-50ths. Evan stared at the table. Mara's mouth tightened, then sagged. I exhaled for what felt like the first time since May 27th. On the courthouse steps, Aunt Dee hugged me until my ribs protested. He'd be proud, she said. Ms. Cortez handed me a small velvet pouch. Provisional possession for presentation. Dee. Aunt Dee opened it. The 1937 sun winked. Hello, old friend, she whispered. I called Lydia. You okay? I'll lose my commission, she said. But I'll sleep. Me too, I said. That evening at 118, keys on the table, Dad's dented chair under me, Miss Cortez across with a clipboard. Photos at 6:30, she said. Keating at 7 o'clock. List by July 29th. He wanted peanuts and a game, I said. Go, she said. I'll lock up. I left the chair. I left the house. The park lights came on. I bought a bag for $6 and didn't count the shells. My phone buzzed. Unknown, you won this round. Box 18 is still out there.